just start this video off by saying dreams piss me off. First of all, why is it that all of the bad dreams last 8 hours and all of the good ones get interrupted? Because I can be having my worst nightmare and I have to go through that torture for 8 hours straight. And as soon as you have a good dream, that's when somebody has to wake you up. I don't know about y'all, but I cannot recall one time ever being woken up while I was having a bad dream. And it can never even be like an average dream. No, it has to be the dream where you are with your soulmate, doing things you like to do, and then your parents come in the room in the morning and say, hey, it's time for school. And it sucks because you go through that moment of, maybe if I go back to sleep, I could dream about it again. And you know it ain't gonna happen. And another thing, why are my dreams better than my life right now? And it's like torture, because how can you put me in a set of circumstances that is so perfect, and then you wake me up to deal with this again? And I hate how believable they are, because I can fall asleep in class for 4 seconds and somehow believe I'm falling to my death from a skyscraper. And then you wake up startled as hell thinking you were really going to die, and everybody's just looking at you like you stupid. Thank you for your time.
So, I've been getting lots of questions about how I've been affording this trip. My bank would also like to know. Basically, I haven't paid for hardly any accommodation since I've been here. Just my tickets to get here and my food. I use this website called Trusted House Sitters. You can house sit all over the world. You see it Seattle, France, like Spain, Singapore, literally everywhere. So people will ask you to take care of their home while they're away on vacation, so you can get to stay there for free while they also get to go on their vacation. Some people go for a really long time, some people only go for a few days. It's free to browse, but it does need a $90 yearly membership if you actually want to get involved in it, which obviously pays for itself, like within 2 days once you start to use it.
My favorite book is The 4 Agreements, and this book says that if you can follow these 4 rules, your life will totally transform for the better. 1. Be impeccable with your word. This means be honest, don't gossip, and also use your word for truth and love. A good way to remember this is to imagine yourself being recorded. Are you proud of what you're saying? Number 2. Don't take anything personally. Even if someone doesn't like you, it's still not about you. It's just a reflection of themselves. And if you do take it personally, you're being conceited. And those are the book's words, not mine. Number 3, don't make assumptions. As the saying goes, if you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. If you don't know something, just ask. And you're better off asking because assuming can make it worse. Number 4, try your best. Leave every situation, task, whatever it may be, feeling like you did all you could do at that time. That way you avoid regret. Those are the 4 agreements, and you should definitely read the book.
Do not take ibuprofen. That is what the French health ministry is saying, and they're getting quite a bit of backlash from the medical community because there is no clinical evidence or standard recommendation for this at all. Why are they saying that? Because of ACE2. ACE2 is a receptor that on a cellular level has been shown to be the receptor that both SARS and coronavirus use to get into your cells. So they theorize that if you have increased levels of ACE2 receptor, that you may have a worse clinical outcome from the virus infection. Ibuprofen increases your ACE2 level. Tylenol does not. So that's why they say you should use Tylenol for these fevers in case they have corona instead of ibuprofen. Again, no clinical support to this. It is purely theory based on cellular levels and studies. But other people start to say, well, hey, look, the people that do the worst are people that have heart failure, that have high blood pressure, that have diabetes. One thing that they usually all share is that they're on drugs that increase their ACE2 levels as well, ACEs and ARBs. So,
Trader Joe's Hacks Part 2.
35 cents, super cheap. Get your water here.
If there's anything you want a sample of, ask them and they have to give you a sample of it.
A bunch of $3.99 bottles of wine. Buy your frozen berries here, they're way cheaper. Buy your garlic peeled, it's easier and not much more.
Really weird human body facts that I can guarantee you didn't know. Your immune system doesn't actually know that your eyes exist. So this means that if you ever get an eye injury or an infection near your eyes, there's a chance that your immune system's going to treat it like a foreign body and you could go blind. Some people, if they put something in one or both of their ears, will cough. It's called the Arnold cough reflex, and it only affects a very small percentage of people. It's time to stop. Just kidding. Did you know that you have enough potassium in your body to create a small bomb?
This one's going to be kind of sad. So in the Toy Story franchise, you definitely know Mr. Potato Head.
This guy.
Well, his voice actor, actually died in 2017. But then you ask, how did they make Toy Story 4? He was in that movie. Well, Disney actually went back and took 20 years of his voice acting lines and put them together to finish the movie. Just like how Mr. Potato Head is made of multiple parts.
Alright guys, coming at you with some plain life hacks. I'm saving my best one for last. Number 1, turbulence is worse in the back of the plane. So if you're afraid of turbulence, you get sick during turbulence, sit closer to the front. I'm not saying there's not going to be any turbulence in the front, but it's worse in the back. Your tray table doesn't get wiped down after every single flight, so bring some wipies and wipe down that tray table because you never know who sat there before you. They do get cleaned at night though. Always be prepared for hot planes or cold planes. Wear a short sleeve, bring a jacket, but be prepared. It's always one or the other, I feel like. And my last one. So on Netflix, you can download your show or movie, and once it's fully downloaded, all you need to do is put your device in airplane mode. You don't even need Wi-Fi to watch it. So if the Wi-Fi is not working on the plane, it's an easy fix and you can still watch your movie or your show. Time for me to go fly.
I think most can agree that the most annoying thing about being a part of Generation Z is constantly being referred to as a millennial. Like, my college professor is constantly like, you millennials with your Facebook and your avocado toast and like ruining the doorbell industry. And I'm like, bro, no. The youngest millennial is 26 and the oldest is 40. And just because you're old and can't keep up and tell the difference doesn't mean you can just lump us together because our generations are so different. Like, Generation Z doesn't remember 9/11. That's the main thing. And that trend of excessive individuality that was really popular in millennials doesn't hold up with Gen Z because we were raised in this doom and gloom 24-hour news cycle that makes us feel like we have to stick together in order to fix everything. While millennials want their employers to provide free food and have a slide in the building for some reason, 71% of Gen Z want to start their own business and work for themselves. Generation Z also has an 8-second attention span, so if you made it to the end of this video, I applaud you, I love you, like this video for more Gen Z facts.
So you're looking at the back of a human cadaver, and we can see the scapula, or what most people would refer to as the shoulder blade. And up here is a muscle called the levator scapulae muscle. And just like its name suggests, it's going to elevate. What it elevates is this scapula. It's going to bring it upwardly like this. So if we kind of zoom out, you can see it just kind of going up. And so it's elevating the scapula as in a shoulder shrug.
Did you know that a human tooth has 36 calories? If you put half of a sliced grape in the microwave, it'll turn into plasma, essentially lighting on fire. Over 7% of adult Americans think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. That's over 20 million people that should not be allowed to drive. These girls don't make chocolate milk. You're all dumb. Whenever you walk through a doorway, your brain basically takes it as a cue to completely refresh your memory, which is why you forget shit when you walk into a new room. If you announce your goals to others, you suddenly become way less likely to actually complete them. For some reason, we just lose motivation. If you're ever standing on a high ledge and you think about jumping, this doesn't mean that you're suicidal. It's just your brain saying like, hey, you could get really hurt, just be a little extra careful. Same thing like if you're holding a baby and you're like, I could just drop this thing right now. Doesn't mean you're a monster. Your brain's just like, hey, this baby's delicate. Don't drop him. It's completely normal.
Some of you are missing this muscle called palmaris longus. It could be in your right arm and not in your left, or in your left arm and not on your right. Or you could be missing both of them or have both of them in your arms. So let's show a test to see if you have palmaris longus. So for this first test, you're going to take your arm and your hand and you're going to rest them on a flat surface. Then you're going to make a fist and then you're going to flex. And when you see this tendon pop up, that tells you you have a palmaris longus. Now, to make it a more definitive test, take your ring finger and your thumb, smash them together as hard as you can, and then flex. And you should be able to feel 2 tendons popping out. If you only have 1 tendon, you might be missing palmaris longus.